for N.Addo from Mama Kwaba Edeba Daily Update TV. So send in the kind of mobile channel Asia. Make sure so better pay on the subscriber to us Edeman. Now things what pay on the notification bell on the send away our own so bit makan ordering update. Head to channel is one who knows on Ghana and politics. As answer should be say, rock to share video so by like it. Now I'll share them. That's all watching trivia edit video one or comment session. A budget near can answers Edeman. Dear a year NPP MP back of former a year to be MP. Eugene a year Ḃlȧṯη entry a dear some media. Waba bontine ama a year city before and na aye interview. Na ya dear papa di NPP and abetuja. Na ba kwa all chere a all kama Ghana fu nyina ate CP. Efa a year more huge defeat a Ghana for Edemom ewa year 2020 about one more chese. Even up to ne MP before the do now through some beka do could 14 tia. Emma omo lose a year election on the obeka no klopa because still na amanfo agidi se ken and a year ni papa ko ejina no to palma omo lose because of how or running economy because of no finance minister na so papa no aka ni pi se hwan ana na odi omo nyina anim ati se ohwepa omo defeat no fa kese na omo debo a year ken of Wiatan eni kwan se de defeat na bo ken of Wiatan na mum a year na N.Addo danko ekufuado ono ana wo hwe chese papa na yes poses bibire afa ena na danko ekufuado waka to the point say N.Addo ene second time na papa na aye autopilot chese ono nko na obu ma na ontie obi asem bia obeka bia ne obeka bia e ade odobetonche sanso so na ochirem say ya ade John Dramani Mahama e kana e president e papa no o eye goodwill e de magana fu ye power e na adwen so bebu agana fu the answer man me pese nkuti e former subin MP e Eugene Ḃlȧٺη enjoy the sansing winina e to dwa we expose on wa na nkrofo enso.
You mentioned the courts. The head of the judiciary is on trial, the Chief Justice. What's your comment on what's happening?
My comment is that Article 46 mandates the president to do what he's doing. But we also have to look at it from the point of the Chief Justice in the last press conference. So I listened to the entire program.
The press conference?
Yes. What we should do is that even in the courtroom, the judge sits there and listens to both sides. So whatever evidence that they have against this lady must be given to her to be able to respond to them. And if indeed, because he was calling for a televised
which is a breach of the constitution according to the government.
You see, if you say it's a breach, then they must allow her to also vent, because we don't really know what is going on in there. Her phones are being seized, her spouse is being prevented from entering the room. We are hearing all manner of things. That is why we say, look, if indeed she has committed a crime, nobody will support her. But if indeed she has not, but she's being harassed by the nation, people are just sending dubious petitions and, hateful petitions against the person, then we must all be worried about the future of our judiciary in nation building. Because we don't want somebody to be targeted because of her being appointed by the previous regime. And in the Fourth Republic, President Kufuor made Justice Saban and worked with him. Justice Saban left and all these Supreme Court presidents, Newz came and made Judge Wood work with her. So what has changed? So people who have a vendetta against this woman, they should search their conscience. Well, if indeed she has committed a crime, nobody will support her. But I believe she has answered almost all the things against her. All the allegations against her have been answered. And she's proven that the things that are being put out there are not true. I've been a member of parliament in this country for 8 years. I've been a deputy minister. I'm not an ordinary Ghanaian who just jump on a propaganda bandwagon. You understand? If things come to me, I have to internalize it. But they tell us that the opposition's job is to oppose. No, so you oppose because of what? So if today Umaru was an NPP minister, Nana Akufo-Addo, indeed Umaru has stolen state money, right? And then I jump to your defense, and then I'm shown the evidence that indeed Umaru, got himself involved in a contract. You still defend me because we are from the Elephant Party? No, I wouldn't defend you. So that's not your kind of politics? No, because you see, I'm saying that Ghanaians vote for us. Not all those who vote for us are NPP. Bear that at the back of your mind. Okay. There are so many fucking voters in this country. Ghanaians vote for us because we are a decent lot. You understand? So if I go and stand out there to defend somebody who has clearly embezzled state funds or stolen state funds, then what am I saying to the party? That the NPP has now become a sanctuary or a haven for criminals.
I think Ken Okrata was a problem or Akufo-Addo? Which of the two cousins was?
You see, you blame Ken, but who bears the ultimate responsibility? Who did the Ghanaians vote for? Everybody holds a position in government, whether it's a Akufo-Addo or J.Mahama, at the behest of the president. You understand? So Akufo-Addo appoints, and he can only the only person to disappoint you.
But why? Okay, was it a case that he was not listening? Because you said that you were warning, like you said, it's like you were on the Titanic. You saw the iceberg. You were telling the captain, but didn't bother. Is it a case that the captain wasn't interested, or was he blocked from hearing the?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What was the problem?
That's why I'm saying that in the second term, all certain presidents in the second term tend to be on autopilot. I'm sure if the Ken Okrata matter had happened in the first term, the president would have acted because he was looking at the second term, and that would have probably informed his decision. You understand? Because nobody can say that we didn't lose this election because of the economy. And I'll give you a soundbite. And the domestic debt exchange didn't just impact the economy; it wounded trust. We must never again put pain without dialogue. But the Ghanaian people were told that there were going to be no haircuts. That was a clear statement of intent from the president.
So there was a breach of trust.
Of course. And then the next minute, DDP had been introduced. So they lost money. They lost savings, investment, and pensions. And we saw a former CJ picketing at the Ministry of Finance.
For the first time in our lives.
And that alone, the optics, it politics our perception. So the optics went good. And that cascaded down and affected our electoral fortunes.
I saw Musa Dankwa yesterday put out a poll in which he said that your goodwill is going down still as a party. Many of your party members are jumping ship.
It's good you've brought this thing up again. At this current state, John Dramani Mahama has the goodwill of the people. And nobody can take that away from him. You just come out of an election 6 months. 184 members of parliament.
Huge.
56, 7%. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes. So at this stage, it's like a woman falling in love with a man. At the beginning of it, there's nothing to shake that woman
Whatever you tell
to even listen to advice. You understand? But it's politics. If we give the NDC time, if we give President Mahama and his NDC time, in the course of time, they will start exposing themselves. For example, Galamsey, the very people who were saying that Nana Akufo-Addo should declare state of emergency, Nana Akufo-Addo should do this shoot and kill policy and what have you. Are the same people in government now? Why are they not talking? Galamsey is still going on. Just before you came here, I was watching Joy News. I was listening to Erastus Dankwasare. And Galamsey is still ongoing. So it shows you that it wasn't an NPP problem. It's a Ghanaian problem.
Pick your thoughts. The CJ has gone public with issues she feels, based on which she feels she's not being treated fairly. She raised a number of issues, even regarding the composition of the committee. She actually cited Justice Puamang in there. Even the venue for the hearings, she thinks is deliberately to intimidate her, and a host of others. Now she's in court fighting for her rights, and then the Attorney General is countering, saying, your thoughts?
Okay. I have heard a number of legal minds speak on some of the things that she's done, the press conference, and what she's seeking to do. And to the point that, one, it wasn't proper for her to come public, which violates Article 146. But the other one was that if she was aggrieved, she just simply needed to go to court, which she has now done. She didn't need to come public. She simply needed to go to court, which I agree with. But I think that the public engagement didn't help her.
Really?
No, I don't think it's helped her. Because, you see, she made reference to Edu Lodge in that press conference.
Yeah.
And subsequently, people have gone to read the SIB report and quoted that, look, what you are saying has no basis. Because the reference to Edu Lodge in that document happened only in October, way after the murder of the judges.
Yes.
Which took place in June. And the allegation that Chachu Chikata met someone there was not even in the lodge itself. It was in front of the lodge, on the streets.
Yeah.
So Why seek to put out such a statement? So I think that those who held there or put that thing into the press release didn't help her cause. Because you are a chief, what do you call it, Chief Justice for that matter. You should know better. You have been practicing law for all these years. So I think that some of those things didn't help her. Now again, she makes complaints about Justice Ƒrȧiṱė, which for me seems fair. But the question we ask again, as professionals in this country, is that a similar thing happened to Chachu Chikata.
Right.
When Justice Afre sat also on the Fast Track High Court, Chachu challenged the constitutionality of the Fast Track High Court.
Yeah.
And Justice Afre was empaneled to sit on the Supreme Court panel that ruled on that matter. Is that not a similar case that is happening here? Where was she and where was the Ghana Bar Association? What did they say about it? So for me, it's for us to develop as a country, professionals and professional associations need to be consistent with statements. We need to uphold the professional integrity and not turn when it suits us or when. And the over-politicization of every single issue in this country, for me, is worrying. Why is it that the government in power takes on a Chief Justice? Suddenly, the opposition thinks that it is their right to defend the Chief Justice. So for me, and that is how a lot of things get washed out in this country, and justice is not delivered. Because someone who may have held office is being tried, and suddenly a political party rises and say, no, 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 no. So the over-politicization of issues here doesn't help in the delivery of justice in this country. Because our political parties are too sensitive to the next election. So justice is not being delivered in this country. Clearly. I mean, look at the number of corruption cases throughout the Fourth Republic.
Right.
How many have actually been conclusively dealt with? Look at the current arrests that are going on. Look at the previous arrests that went on. How many people have really been prosecuted successfully?
It's the same old story.
The same old story.
The cycle goes round.
The cycle just goes round. So every government comes and then says, let's do this, and then the other party says, no, this is. So for me, justice delivery is being seriously undermined with all the actors that are involved here. Professionals, lawyers, our political parties, and state institutions are not behaving properly. So I think that is a worrying thing for ordinary Ghanaians. How many Ghanaians would have had the privilege that the Chief Justice is having at this moment? Most ordinary Ghanaians, when they are caught or arraigned before the court, have very little defense because everything is about money. So you ask yourself, is justice for the rich? These are the things that worry ordinary Ghanaians. And I think that our political party, if they are really interested in serving the needs of the people of this country, need to look at their conduct seriously, both in government and out of government. And that is what I don't see playing out properly. Because the statements that were made before the NDC itself won political power lends credence to what the opposition also says, that you are seeking to remove the Chief Justice because you want to pack the courts. And clearly by the
nomination and
the
appointment
swearing
of
seven new justices, it lends credence to what the opposition is also saying. So I think that our conduct in government and our conduct out of government must serve the needs of the people of this country, rather than playing to political parties' interests. Because at the moment, all I see is that political parties are more interested in protecting themselves than developing this country. In the last 30 years, I mean, of multi-party democracy, what has ordinary Ghanaian gained? I keep asking this question. Apart from the political actors who have seemed to have accrued wealth and influence in society, what has the ordinary Ghanaian gained? And these are questions that should worry all of us.
Very well.
So in this matter, clearly, I think that we have not been consistent as professionals, lawyers in this country to defend the case, because Justice Afre's case was a typical example. And now she's also referencing Justice Ƒrȧiṱė. So I think that we need to get our acts together and act properly in this country.
Right. Dr. Jaku.
Atie for me da munyina asisa mo J.Mahama na mo de hwe video na che se ye NPP MP former MP for Subin constituency Honorable Eugene Ḃaċkṯàḃ entry and tenenka ode sansem we nyina ahawe tuja o chirim se ono de ono onye a hypocritical politician and I'm so NPP ninti se evidence ne etaho se nua kobokro no kro no fita pa and I'm saying nua ne NPP ninti na o supporting on the obeka no kro no amagana fu enyina ehu se omu defeat fandodo na onfa mo kenofuriata enko ana onfa mo Dr. Mahmoud Bumi anko nemum o de Kesi fa Kesi na be mana na danko ekufuada because uchirema the second term no na danko ekufuada the second term na yade na papa no ono enye democracy bi na o lead you na chese papa no oye autopilot na chese in other words no eye autocracy because ono nko na no lead o kan switch na chese odi na so achi ana ma untie hwe ana ohwe ema neoma bi a ekot because also chema na second term no ana chese omo break Ghana for trust dodo na cause of how omo run the economy ema chese obi a moso monfa haircut ma na afedi mo the haircut ba ama a whole former chief justice akwati na elim aye protest na ma mpiempo ameka hwe amfa antiram ama Ghana for chese omunya heartbreak kese pa eno ka ho bi ana Ghana for elusi na so papa yi anya ho hwe because onim se wono wo chese wo di ne mrewi onsa enkobio eno ana papa na anwene no nkofo no mo ochi o chese o mutimi di nkuku kese o 2020 abanam to no dia onfa eyeso bo kese na enfa mo eye kenofruta in as much as kenofruta no finance minister or no oye eye economy ne pastor no o mo so we ya fault dia na so bo kese na dia na danko ekufu ade no hye ni nyina eche oye nhwe han man ne ma ekoso e won governance ni nyina etimi koso e ma Ghana fu e lose eye trust e o mu o chiremu se sa heartbreak na magana fu nyina edom akobo eye NDC for o chiremu se even within just short period of time John Dramani Mahama yem president abetena akonya so na yade ahwe na nioma awoya waya ade pa yade se o goodwill ema eye Ghana fu enti Ghana fu enya gidie wonum o ye this eye afaton wo se Ghana fu na koyete se ema se omafole eye in love ediama eye be manya de obeka bia ana obeti ne wo kampo enya de se obeti it is John Dramani Mahama ekoso eye sade anhwe enya de se NPP mpu ebetimi abapa na chese party no aka opposition na wo hwe the numbers eye NDC for ewo eye mashe bidwoma na chese ya de se omo party ni de se nyakopon amfefie dia opposition wa ana omube stay forever Eugene watch entry at the sansing win na eto Ghana for him so no de almost one Kesi na odbe man na danko kufuado chire obeye autopilot on nkwana na lead unti di obi abeka bia na mente hwe ema nne omugina baby omugina na ode abazobote Kesi ema John Dramani Mahama won adwuma pa obo de ama Ghana for pass yade ono waya ade ono de obeka no kure onye hypocritical politician inti no kure da ho ana ode ato Ghana for enyine no sanso no chire ma chief justice remover koso na yade a ochirima NDC anase John Dramani Mahama enya de se omobu constitution biaso constitution na ana omofa soko so the ore be die be kwa kosi say am pase ma me na at voter e be ine firo ma de competent aba bitina akonya na so senso se hwene nsem na so onye hwa ene oba be fa ne dwuma enso so ayo de sansi wenyina ato Ghana fu enim etifo biti so nya subscribe ya me so beta fe and subscribe to Newz ediam na fe to tap on the notification bell on senebe onso beti maka all the new update e to channel so mo hu ne ko Ghana politics mo asa so share se bra ko share video so ba like na wa share dem that's all wajun share be e fa video ho odo ko comment section e beje ni akenkan enso ediam so me de end makao bye bye.